Red Army, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you, it's going to shake the very foundations of the city ground to its absolute core. Something absolutely massive is brewing around our beloved forest, and trust me when I say this, the next 20 minutes will completely change how you see our season, our future, and everything we thought we knew about this football club. 4 earth-shattering bombshells have just dropped, one after another, each one more explosive than the last. We're talking about our star players being hunted by Premier League giants. Absolutely devastating injury news that'll leave you speechless. Contract renewals that'll make your heart race with pure joy. And transfer rumors that could either secure our future for the next decade or tear apart everything we've been building. The timing of all this couldn't be more dramatic. We're sitting here on a Saturday afternoon preparing for another crucial Premier League clash when suddenly the football world erupts around the city ground. Phone notifications going mental, social media exploding, journalists working overtime, and right at the center of it all, our magnificent Nottingham Forest. First up, there's whispers coming from the Theater of Dreams. And they're not just any whispers, Red Army. They're the kind of rumors that send shockwaves through every Forest fan's soul. The Red Devils of Manchester have their predatory eyes set on one of our most precious gems, a player who's been lighting up the Premier League week after week since arriving at our club. The numbers being thrown around? They're absolutely mental. The kind of figures that make you question everything you know about modern football. Then we've got absolutely devastating news from the medical room that'll break your heart into 1,000 pieces. One of our key men, someone we've been counting on all season long, someone who's been the heartbeat of our midfield, has received the worst possible diagnosis from the doctors. 4 months. That's how long we'll be without him. 4 bloody months of hoping, waiting, and wondering if he'll ever be the same player again. But it's not all doom and gloom in the East Midlands. Because while some stories might crush your spirit, others will lift you to the heavens. We've just tied down one of our absolute superstars to a brand new long-term deal, and the way the lads have reacted to it, pure class. Messages flying around the dressing room, celebration posts lighting up Instagram, teammates genuinely buzzing. This one hit different, and you can feel the love radiating from every corner of the city ground. And if that emotional roller coaster wasn't enough to get your blood pumping, there's tantalizing talk of another Brazilian wizard potentially joining our ranks. Another talent from the land of football magic, ready to add that South American flair. We've been craving since the days of our European glory. Are you ready for this emotional journey that'll take you from the heights of ecstasy to the depths of despair and back again? Because some of this news will have you jumping off your seat, fist-pumping the air, while other bits, well, they might just break your heart temporarily. But that's football, isn't it? The beautiful game that gives us the highest highs and the lowest lows, sometimes within the space of a single afternoon. Hit that like button right now if you're ready to dive deep into the absolute madness that's been unfolding at Nottingham Forest over the last 24 hours. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these stories do you think will have the biggest impact on our season? Drop your predictions below because things are about to get very interesting indeed. Right then, let's start with the bombshell that has every single Forest fan checking their phones every 5 minutes, refreshing transfer websites and having heated debates in the pub. There's a young lad who's been absolutely tearing it up in the Forest midfield this season. Someone who's caught the eye of not just the passionate Trent End faithful, but apparently some very powerful, very wealthy people up north in Manchester. His energy levels are through the roof. His vision for a pass is absolutely sublime. His ability to pick out a teammate with a ball that cuts through Premier League defenses like a hot knife through butter. The way he glides across the pitch, the way he reads the game, the way he's adapted to life in the red shirt, it's been nothing short of sensational. Every Forest fan who's watched him play knows we've got something special on our hands. I'm talking about Elliot Anderson. And the breaking news that's just emerged from multiple sources about him is nothing short of absolutely staggering. The kind of story that sends shockwaves through the entire football world. According to ESPN, Team Talk, and numerous other reliable sources with connections deep inside Old Trafford, Manchester United have identified our brilliant 22-year-old midfielder as their absolute #1 priority target for the January transfer window. And here's the part that'll make you spit out your tea. They're reportedly prepared to table a mind-blowing bid worth 70 million. 70 million pounds for a lad who only joined us permanently just over a year ago. Let me put this astronomical figure into proper perspective for you, Red Army. When we signed Anderson from Newcastle United in July 2024, we paid approximately 35 million for his services. In just over 12 months, his market value has apparently doubled. That's not just inflation, that's recognition of genuine world-class potential. But here's the backstory that makes this whole situation even more intriguing. Newcastle didn't particularly want to sell Anderson last summer. The Magpies were forced into making some incredibly difficult decisions due to the Premier League's profit and sustainability regulations. They had to sacrifice one of their most promising academy products to balance their books. And it's a decision that's clearly haunting them now as they watch him flourish at the City ground. Anderson came through Newcastle's renowned academy system, spent valuable loan time developing his craft at Bristol Rovers, and only made the permanent switch to our club recently. But what he's shown in a Forest shirt has been absolutely phenomenal. The stuff that gets seasoned scouts salivating and rival clubs plotting ambitious transfer moves. The timing of Manchester United's interest couldn't be more telling or more strategic. The Red Devils are desperately struggling in midfield, lacking that dynamic presence that can seamlessly link defense to attack while providing energy, creativity, and goal threat. They've watched Anderson week after week, match after match, seeing how brilliantly he's adapted to Ange Postecoglou's demanding tactical system, how he's become the absolute heartbeat of our high-intensity pressing game. Ruben Amorim, United's current manager, has reportedly been given assurances from the Old Trafford hierarchy that funds will be made available for the January window, and Anderson sits right at the top of their wanted list. The fact that United are willing to splash $70 million on a player who's never played Champions League football tells you everything about how highly they rate his potential. But here's what's really got me lying awake at night. Red Army, Manchester United don't just throw around 70 million figures for the sake of it. They've clearly done their extensive homework. They've watched hours of footage. They've had scouts at every single one of our matches, and they've seen something genuinely special in our boy. They've got the financial muscle to make this happen, and when United want a player, they usually get their man. What makes Anderson so incredibly special and so attractive to clubs like United? It's his remarkable versatility and his incredible football intelligence. He can operate as a disciplined defensive midfielder, breaking up opposition play and launching attacks from deep positions. He can push forward as a dynamic box-to-box midfielder, contributing crucial goals and assists while still fulfilling his defensive responsibilities. He's got that increasingly rare combination of technical ability, physical presence, and tactical awareness that modern football absolutely demands. The lad's only 22 years old, which means he's got his absolute best years stretching out ahead of him. For Manchester United, he represents not just an immediate solution to their current midfield crisis, but a genuine long-term investment in their future success. For us, losing him would be like ripping the beating heart out of our entire tactical setup and throwing it in the bin. His international breakthrough has only added fuel to the transfer fire. Anderson made his senior debut for England during the September international break, delivering man-of-the-match performances against both Andorra and Serbia. Thomas Tuchel, England's manager, has already hinted that Anderson could be a key part of his 2026 World Cup plans, which only increases his market value and desirability. Remember how absolutely devastated we felt when we lost talented players like Brennan Johnson to bigger clubs with deeper pockets. This could be déjà vu all over again, but potentially even more painful. The difference is, Anderson has barely had time to properly settle into his Forest career, to build those emotional connections with the supporters, and already the vultures are circling overhead. The question that's burning in every single Forest fan's mind right now is devastatingly simple. Would you take 70 million for Elliot Anderson? On one hand, it's an absolutely astronomical sum that could fund multiple high-quality signings across different positions. On the other hand, how do you possibly replace a player who's becoming genuinely irreplaceable in our system? From a purely business perspective, doubling our money in just over a year would be incredible. But football isn't just about balance sheets and profit margins. It's about building something sustainable, something the supporters can believe in, something that represents genuine progress rather than just being a selling club. I want to hear your honest thoughts in the comments below. Red Army. Would you cash in on Anderson if United come calling with that kind of life-changing money? Or is he already too important to our long-term project to even consider letting go? Because this decision, if it comes to pass, could define our next 5 years. But hold on to your seats and prepare your hearts, because if you think that transfer bombshell is the biggest shock of the day, wait until you hear the absolutely heartbreaking news that's just emerged from our treatment room. Sometimes in football, you receive news that hits you like an absolute sledgehammer to the gut. News that stops you dead in your tracks and makes you question everything you thought you knew about the season ahead. News that changes the entire trajectory of your club's campaign in a single devastating instant. What I'm about to tell you about one of our most dependable, most committed players, it's exactly that kind of soul-crushing, season-defining blow. The man I'm talking about has been an absolute warrior for us ever since he pulled on the red shirt. Someone who's battled through thick and thin with unwavering determination, always giving absolutely everything for the badge, for the supporters, for the cause. A player whose incredible work rate and unquestioned commitment have never, ever been in doubt. Whose presence in our midfield has been absolutely crucial to everything we've been trying to achieve under our new management. His tackles are crunching but fair. His passing is intelligent and progressive. His positioning is absolutely immaculate. He's the kind of player who makes everyone around him better, who provides that defensive stability that allows our more creative talents to express themselves without fear. I'm talking about Nicolás Domínguez. And the medical bulletin we've just received from the club's doctors is absolutely heartbreaking. The kind of news that makes grown men cry and forces you to completely reassess everything. The club has officially confirmed what we all feared most after seeing him limp off the pitch in obvious agony. Nicolás has suffered a serious meniscus injury in his knee that will require immediate surgical intervention. The timeline for his return? A minimum of 4 months. 4 bloody months without one of our most reliable, most consistent performers on the pitch. This isn't just any ordinary injury. Red Army. A meniscus tear is the kind of devastating setback that can completely derail a player's entire season. And in some tragic cases, it can fundamentally change a player's career trajectory. It's the same type of injury that's plagued countless professional footballers throughout history, requiring not just delicate surgery, but many months of careful, methodical rehabilitation to even hope of returning to full competitive fitness. The meniscus is a crucial piece of cartilage that acts as a shock absorber in the knee joint. When it tears, as Domínguez's has, it can cause excruciating pain, significant swelling, and a complete inability to put weight on the affected leg. The surgical procedure to repair or remove the damaged tissue is complex, and the recovery process is both physically and mentally demanding. For those supporters who perhaps don't fully appreciate the massive impact that Domínguez brings to our team every single week, let me paint you a detailed picture of what we're losing. He's the ultimate midfield warrior, the kind of player who does the absolutely essential dirty work that doesn't always make the highlight reels or the match reports. Winning crucial second balls, breaking up dangerous opposition attacks, providing that vital defensive shield in front of our back line, allowing our center backs to focus on their primary defensive duties. He's been Ange Postecoglou's unsung hero, the player who quietly, efficiently allows our more glamorous, more creative talents to flourish and express themselves. Without Domínguez patrolling that midfield area, our tactical balance becomes significantly more precarious, our defensive stability notably weaker. The timing of this injury couldn't possibly be worse for our club. We're still in the relatively early stages of the season, desperately trying to establish our new tactical identity under Postecoglou's demanding system, building momentum and confidence. And suddenly we've lost a player who was absolutely integral to our entire setup. It's like losing a vital cog in a perfectly tuned, precision-engineered machine. What makes this injury even more frustrating and heartbreaking is the circumstances surrounding how it occurred. Sometimes these devastating injuries happen in spectacular, memorable fashion. A crunching tackle from an opponent, a heavy collision during a set piece, an awkward landing after an aerial challenge. But meniscus injuries can be deceptively, frustratingly simple in their origin, often resulting from nothing more than an awkward turn, a sudden change of direction, or an innocent-looking movement that tears the delicate cartilage. The psychological impact on Domínguez himself cannot be underestimated. Professional footballers live their entire lives around routine, around constant physical preparation, around the adrenaline rush of competition. To suddenly be faced with months of uncertainty, of rehabilitation, of wondering whether you'll ever feel completely confident in that knee again. It's a mental challenge that many players struggle to overcome. The ripple effects of this injury will be felt throughout our entire squad structure for months to come. Postecoglou will now be forced to completely rethink his midfield balance, to reassess his tactical approach, to find new solutions to problems that Domínguez had been solving effortlessly. Who steps up to fill that crucial defensive midfield role? Do we see more of Ibrahim Sangaré operating in that deeper position? Does this accelerate the development and integration of some of our promising younger prospects? From a tactical perspective, losing Domínguez forces us to be significantly more creative and flexible in our approach to matches. He was the player who provided unwavering stability, who allowed our more attacking-minded midfielders like Morgan Gibbs-White to push forward without constantly worrying about leaving gaps behind them. Now we'll need to find a completely new balance, a fresh way to protect our defense while maintaining our threatening attacking play. The financial implications of this injury are also potentially significant. With Domínguez sidelined for 4 months, covering the crucial autumn period, the busy festive fixture schedule, and the potentially decisive winter months, we might find ourselves forced to dip into the transfer market sooner than anticipated. Emergency loan signings, short-term contractual solutions, panic buying in January, all options that could stretch our carefully planned budget and disrupt our long-term strategic planning. But here's what I absolutely love about this magnificent football club. Red Army. We've faced serious adversity before. We've dealt with devastating setbacks, and we've always found a way to bounce back stronger. Remember how we coped when other key players were unexpectedly sidelined with long-term injuries? The squad stepped up. Individual players grew into bigger roles and responsibilities, and we discovered new heroes we never knew we had. This injury to Domínguez is undoubtedly a massive blow to our season, and there's absolutely no point in sugarcoating or minimizing its impact. But it's also a genuine opportunity for someone else to step up and make their permanent mark on Forest history. Football has this beautiful, unpredictable way of creating heroes out of the most unexpected situations and circumstances. What do you think, Red Army? Who should Postecoglou turn to in Domínguez's extended absence? Which player has the tactical intelligence and physical presence to fill this crucial void? Drop your detailed suggestions in the comments below, because we're going to need every single idea, every bit of support, and all hands on deck for the next 4 challenging months. But before you start feeling too overwhelmed by this medical setback, before the negativity starts creeping into your thoughts, let me immediately lift your spirits with some absolutely brilliant, joy-inducing news from the contract negotiation front. Just when you think it's all doom and gloom around the city ground, when you're starting to worry that everything's falling apart, football has this absolutely beautiful, magical way of reminding you exactly why you fell in love with this incredible game in the first place. And the news I'm about to share with you, it's the kind that sends genuine shivers down your spine, fills your heart with pure, unadulterated joy, and makes you remember why supporting Nottingham Forest is the greatest privilege in world football. There's a player who embodies absolutely everything we love and cherish about Nottingham Forest. A lad who wears his heart on his sleeve every single time he pulls on that famous red shirt, who bleeds Forest red through every pore in his body, who represents not just the present, but the glorious future of this magnificent football club. Someone whose natural talent is matched only by his genuine passion for representing our badge, our supporters, our community. His technique is sublime. His vision is extraordinary. His ability to create something from absolutely nothing is breathtaking. But more than any of his obvious technical abilities, it's his character, his leadership, his unwavering commitment to the Forest cause that makes him so incredibly special. I'm talking about Morgan Gibbs-WHITE. And the contract news that's just broken across every major football platform has the entire Forest family From the youngest supporter to the most senior season ticket holder, celebrating like we've just won the bloody Premier League and the FA Cup in the same season. Our magical, irreplaceable number 10 has just put pen to paper on a comprehensive new long-term contract that ties him to the City ground for years to come. And the reaction from his teammates, from the coaching staff, from everyone associated with the club has been absolutely phenomenal. Chris Wood was immediately on social media with a genuinely heartfelt message, describing Gibbs-White as the heart and soul of this entire team. The dressing room is absolutely buzzing with positive energy. The supporters are ecstatic beyond words, and you can literally feel the wave of optimism radiating from every single corner of the City ground. This isn't just a routine contract renewal, Red Army. This is a massive statement of intent from both the player and the club hierarchy. Gibbs-White could have easily been tempted by bigger clubs with deeper pockets, more immediate prospects of Champions League football, the seductive allure of massive wages and signing bonuses. Premier League giants have been circling like vultures. Agents have been whispering sweet promises in his ear, but he chose us. He chose to stay and build something genuinely special at the place he's always called home. The significance of this contract extension cannot possibly be overstated. In an era where player loyalty is becoming increasingly rare, where footballers routinely jump ship at the first sign of a marginally better offer, where agents prioritize quick profits over long-term relationships, Gibbs-White has shown the football world what it truly means to be a genuine Forest player. He's committed his prime years, his peak performance years to our collective cause, and that kind of dedication is absolutely priceless. The backstory of Gibbs-White's journey to this moment makes it even more emotionally significant. He came through Wolves' academy system, had loan spells that helped shape his character, experienced the disappointment of not quite breaking through at his boyhood club, before finding his true home at the City ground. His performances for Forest have been consistently outstanding, earning him England recognition and establishing him as one of the Championship's finest talents before our promotion to the Premier League. From a purely tactical standpoint, securing Gibbs-White's future gives Ange Postecoglou the perfect creative foundation to build his entire tactical philosophy around. He's the creative spark that ignites our most dangerous attacking moves, the player who can unlock even the most disciplined Premier League defenses with a single moment of individual brilliance. Having him contractually tied down for the long term allows the manager to plan with absolute confidence, knowing his key playmaker, his tactical centerpiece, isn't going anywhere. The financial implications of this deal are absolutely massive too. Evangelos Marinakis has once again demonstrated that he's genuinely willing to back his ambitious vision with serious, substantial investment. Keeping Gibbs-White wasn't a cheap exercise by any means, but it's money that's been incredibly intelligently well spent. His market value has been skyrocketing month after month, and now we've protected that valuable investment for many years to come. But here's where this story becomes even more exciting, even more tantalizing for every Forest supporter: Red Army. Because while we're all celebrating keeping one of our established stars, while we're reveling in this demonstration of mutual loyalty and ambition, there are increasingly persistent whispers that we might be about to add another genuine gem to our already impressive collection. And this potential signing comes with that distinctive South American magic that gets football supporters dreaming about the impossible. The rumor mill has been spinning at maximum speed with increasingly detailed talk of another Brazilian talent potentially joining our rapidly expanding international squad. After the remarkable success we've experienced with players like Murillo, after witnessing the transformative impact that South American flair can have throughout the Premier League, this could be exactly what we need to elevate our squad to the next competitive level. Brazil has always been recognized as the ultimate hotbed of football talent, consistently producing players with that unique, unmistakable combination of technical brilliance, creative unpredictability, and match-winning individual quality that can change the outcome of matches in a single, spectacular instant. If these persistent rumors prove to be accurate, if Postecoglou is indeed targeting another Brazilian star to complement our existing South American contingent, it demonstrates the genuine ambition and long-term vision that's driving this club relentlessly forward. The timing would be absolutely perfect from multiple perspectives. With Domínguez unfortunately sidelined with his serious injury, with the ongoing need for increased squad depth becoming more apparent with each passing week, adding another high-quality option could genuinely be the difference between achieving a good season and delivering a truly great, memorable campaign. Brazilian players historically bring that indefinable X factor to English football, that ability to produce moments of pure brilliance when teams need them most desperately. Their technical skills are typically exceptional. Their understanding of the game is intuitive, and their ability to perform under pressure is legendary throughout world football. What genuinely excites me most about these potential signings, about this entire transfer strategy, is how perfectly they fit into our long-term vision and tactical philosophy. We're not just randomly buying players to fill gaps in the squad. We're methodically building a cohesive footballing philosophy, a distinctive style of play that can genuinely compete with the very best teams in England and potentially in Europe. Having GIBBS-WHITE as our creative cornerstone, as our undisputed tactical centerpiece, and potentially adding more South American technical brilliance shows that we're absolutely serious about challenging at the highest possible level. The message being sent to our supporters, to our rivals, to the entire football world is crystal clear. We're not just surviving in the Premier League. We're thriving, we're growing, and we're building something genuinely special that every Forest fan can be incredibly proud of. The combination of retaining our best existing talent while simultaneously attracting new, exciting additions creates a perfect balance between stability and ambition, between honoring our past and building our future. So here's my question for you. Red Army, and I genuinely want to hear every single opinion. How excited are you about GIBBS-WHITE's new long-term deal? What Brazilian player would you most love to see wearing the famous red of Nottingham Forest? Drop your detailed thoughts in the comments below, because this is just the beginning of what promises to be an absolutely incredible, unforgettable journey. Make sure you smash that like button if you're as genuinely pumped as I am about these exciting developments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the transfer window might be officially closed. But the rumors, the excitement, and the dreams never stop flowing at the magnificent city ground.